Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode number 115. It's good to see everybody here. I'm home in Studio 11, and my good friend and co-host Matt Maddox is in Columbus, Ohio. How are you doing today, my friend?
I am doing good, my friend. I am doing good. Missing Florida already. It's only been 2-3 days. Wait, I got up here on Saturday. Let's see. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, it's been 4 days since I've been gone. But I've been good, my friend. Enjoying life, man. Caleb and I went on a long hike in Gatlinburg on Saturday on our way up here. We thought, you know what? Let's just stop by Gatlinburg and let's do some hiking.
Nice.
So what's going on up there in your neck of the woods, man?
Hey, I don't know. I'm like the proverbial turtle in the shell. I worked almost constantly all day yesterday, so at about 7:30 last night, I'm like, it looks really nice outside. I'm gonna go find out. So we went for a walk, Carol and I. But it's gorgeous weather, and but I'll probably be in my office slamming it all day again today. So hopefully get out for another walk tonight.
Well, I knew you were busy yesterday because I didn't get a return phone call yesterday.
Did you call me, dude? I'm sorry.
It's just like I didn't sleep all night. I tossed and turned. I went and saw a counselor. You know,
Yeah,
it's just one of those things, man.
yeah. Every once in a while, you got to just like take your phone and put it like on the other side of the room and ignore it for a day. And that's pretty much what I did yesterday.
Aye, sir.
Hey,
Well,
just like
just like what?
I don't remember. Hey, today's Tuesday on Fuel for Success. Just like every Tuesday, we're going to be talking about personal finance and money management, which is so vitally important to everybody's life. Today's episode 115. I started putting little dollar signs around it because we're talking about finance today, but then it looked funny, so I erased the dollar signs.
Not if you would have put one big dollar sign on the board. See all that blank white space you have? You could have put a dollar sign. You could have put like a pot of gold. You could have put a money bag.
Oh,
You know,
I should have done a pot of gold. Oh, man.
register. You know, maybe a bank teller. It's just we understand you don't care enough about us, man. We don't deserve our work.
I need to get some more markers because even my blue one's starting to run out. You know how devastating it would be if I had like no more. I've got one marker left and it barely works. So.
Third, where I'm at. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I'm in this like evangelist quarters here, but the lighting in the living room is bad. So I'm currently sitting in the kitchen. It just doesn't have good lighting, you know? That's all there is to it. But it's a cool little place. You guys want to see it? It's kind of like the living room area.
Yeah.
And
it's got those
got a loft up there. I love lofts. I kind of hang up there sometimes. I go up there on that bed and just lay there and read. You guys pretty impressed that I keep it clean? And then the bedroom's in there where Caleb's sleeping. See if I can get a shot of him sleeping.
He'll be happy about that.
I hate you later. But yeah. So, there you go, Serge. That's where I'm at, my friend. It's out in the country.
One of the things. Yeah, it's a nice. That facility is just open and grassy where the church is. Very nice. One of the things you don't realize.
Sir, just say that the camera makes me look 50 extra pounds.
I don't think he meant you personally, but.
Don't make me show you the flat stomach, Serge. Don't make me show you the abs, my friend.
One of the interesting things about doing this, and one of the things you don't even realize or think about in life, is things like lighting and ambient sound until you're like setting up in some remote location. Of course, we've done a lot of these shows we do from our home studios, but in some cases we do them from hotels or from Starbucks or from other locations. And sometimes it's a real challenge to find an area that, first of all, has a good network, second of all, has good lighting, and third of all, doesn't have too much ambient sound or foot traffic or any of those things. And but it's actually kind of fun when we have to. It's like a treasure hunt, finding a location to do the show. So
Exactly. Walking in and asking them, can we use your Wi-Fi real quick? We got to do this internet talk show, you know. But anyways, it's all good. We're glad to have you on the show, Serge, even though you think I'm fat.
So, hey, by all means, everyone watching the show today, feel free to ask questions. We're talking about personal finances, budgets, investments, any of those sort of things.
I want to start off the show with a story, okay?
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I'm in the car yesterday on my way to go eat with Papa Rick and one of his grandsons that's 14, turning 15 today, okay? So we're sitting in the car. We got about a 30-minute drive to where we're going. And I said to him, I said, you know something? I'm going to give you some good, really good practical advice. And I want you to listen. You'll listen to me. 10 years from now, when you're 25, you'll be ahead of 90% of all 25-year-olds in the world. But you need to listen to me. I said, you have what we call the gift of time. You know, everybody talks about time, everybody talks about money, and they coincide. And you can't have one without the other. It takes more money to get more time. It takes more time to get more money. And I said, look, man, you're homeschooled. You live here with your grandparents. Your grandpa is a self-employed person that's willing to take you to work and pay you $20, $30 to work. I said there's probably 10 to 15 guys in this church that own construction businesses. I said, look, man, I said, the last thing that you want to be right now is lazy. I said, you need to develop a killer, like drool down your face, sensation, desire for work. I said, you're way too young to waste your life away sitting around, sleeping in. I said, anytime you sleep past 7, you're losing money, man. I said, you need like one day off, and the rest of the days, man, you need to be hustling, and you need to be making money, man. I said, dude, you have opportunity. You can work with your grandpa every day, because his grandpa was teasing him about how, how he slept in and missed work today. And I was like, look, man, you're way too young. Like right now, if you'll listen to the things I'm about to tell you, I said, you should work every opportunity you get. And I said, you should do 3 things with your money. The first thing you should do when you get paid is you should pay your tithes. Second thing you should do is immediately take 10% and stick in an envelope and don't touch it. Literally, don't touch it for shoes. Don't touch it for a date. Don't touch it for youth camp. Don't touch it for food. Like, never touch it, ever. Never touch it. Just stick it in that envelope. And I said, and the third thing that you should do is you should literally, at your age, right now, you should be reading books about success, about business, about finances. You should go through the Dave Ramsey course. You literally, listen, he's 14 years old. He's got like 16 free hours a day. And how many of our young people this summer are going to waste away the summer doing nothing? Like, I'm for kids being kids, but I'm also for kids preparing for the future. Like Dave Ramsey said, if you live like no one else, one day you'll be able to live like no one else. And I said, you know something, dude? Next thing you need to do, I said, there's a rec center like a block away. And I said, you could go get a membership for $17 a month, okay? And you should be at that rec center every day, running, exercising, swimming, playing basketball, keeping your body moving. I said, nah, there's no excuse for any teenager to be out of shape. We have way too many teenagers that are out of shape because we as parents have allowed them to be lazy, right? And I said, the next thing you should do, man, is you should not even worry about girls right now. Because if you'll listen to what I'm saying, and you'll make money, man. You'll work every opportunity that you can get to work and just make money, and then read books. I should, man, at your age, you should be reading one success book a week, at least one a week. Go to the gym and get in premier shape. Save money, dude. Save money. Don't even spend it. Just save it, man. And then if you'll get involved in the work of God, and get close to your pastor, get involved in the church, hang with older men. I said, by the time you're 25 years old, man, you'll be able to buy your own house. You'll be able to literally get almost any girl you want. Because girls want a guy that's going places. Girls want a guy that can take care of them, that can pay bills, that can provide. Girls want a guy that are in shape. You know, girls don't want no fat, lazy guy that can't hold down a job. I said, listen, the greatest gift you can give yourself right now is a work ethic. And, you know, and I said, if you'll listen to this little bit I just gave you, 10 years from now, you will be 25. And when you're 25, man, you'll be ahead of most 25-year-olds in the world. You'll be happier. You'll be healthier. You'll have a prettier wife. Hear me? You'll have a nice home. You'll have a paid-off car. And you'll have energy and you'll have confidence because you're in control of your life. But it's got to start now while you're young. So I just wanted to throw that out there and tell that story just in case there's any teenagers watching or any of you parents that have teenagers. If you literally would sit your teenager down and say, now listen, I want you to listen to the first 10 minutes of Fuel for Success today. And if they literally will just do these simple things that I'm telling you. Look, man, you know how much money teenagers are missing out on by not executing and hustling and having a work ethic? They're literally, most teenagers are missing out on probably $3,000 to $5,000 every summer of what they could be earning if they had a little bit of hustle and a little bit of execution and a little bit of work ethic. So all teenagers listening today, I know we're talking about money and finance. You can't have money without work ethic. You just can't. And what even inspired this is we were at dinner last night, and I was with Papa Rick, and I was with another guy that owned his own painting business. And he was telling me that he's got 5 full-time employees. He's like, you know something? He goes, I literally can't even keep help. He said, it's amazing to me how lazy people are. He said, man, people literally don't even know how to work these days. And I just think, Mike, as we talk about finance and we talk about wealth building, it's going to take hard work. You know, look at yourself. Right. You know, you're an extremely hard worker. You know, anybody that's going to be successful, that's going to build wealth, has got to be a hard worker. I like what Julia said. She said it's attractive when a man is a hard worker. And that's true. To all you single guys out there, to all you, what Al said, I'm trying to create a robot here. To all you, you know, young men, you need to listen to what I'm telling you, man. This stuff really works. And it'll give you more confidence. Bam. Your thoughts, Mr. Mike?
That's very good thoughts. And there is really no substitute for work. There's no shortcuts. You know, you can talk about investments, and you can talk about, you know, starting your own business. You can talk about all kinds of things, but there's no shortcut. They're all work. They all take effort. And, you know, there's proverbs about it, right? If you just lay in bed, you're not going to make any money. So it's good stuff.
Let's just talk to teenagers for a minute, because it's summertime. Every teenager, instead of pouting about how bored they are, like if you say as a teenager that you're bored, you are not. I'm speaking to the youth this Wednesday night because I'm getting ready to do a youth week here. And I'm going to talk to the young people about this, man. You know, if you young people are bored, you're not even close to living life the way you should. Like, you should, at your age, be getting in shape. You should be studying. You should be reading and learning, developing a craft, a genius, deciding what you're going to master and go for it and practice it and develop it and become a genius at it, you know? That's exactly right. I love what Joe said. Boredom is the symptom of a visionless life. And it is. And too many students, too many teenagers out there. They have no dream. They have no drive. They have no passion. They have no burning desire to get out of bed in the morning and do something with their life. You know, Will Smith, you listen to Will Smith, is one of the most successful actors there is. You ready for this? I watched a documentary of him giving his best advice for people. You know what he said his best advice was? Two things: running and reading. He said, if I can get people running and I can get people reading, I can change their life. And I so believe that we need to get our young people out running. I mean, come on, our young people need to be doing triathlons. They should all be training for marathons. They're young. Their bodies are in their best shape they're ever going to be in. So we've got to raise the bar a little bit for our teenagers out there. And all you parents that have teenagers, make them watch today's episode, and hopefully it'll light a fire in them right there.
Good.
There we go.
My kids, I sort of trained them. This isn't our parenting episode, but I trained my kids never to tell me that they were bored, because if my kids ever came to me and said I'm bored, then I would find a job for them to do. Like, Dad, I'm bored. I'm like, you know what? The garage needs to be cleaned. Let's go.
That's very good, man. I'm with you on that. You know, my son is on summer break with me right now, and I let him have one day off yesterday to just do whatever, chill, whatever, you know. But I told him last night, I was like, hey, buddy, don't forget, even though you're having fun, I want you to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're still going to live by our schedule, because I want him to have the right habits. Because every day, no matter what, he needs to pray, he needs to get in his meditation, he needs to get in his personal growth time, his exercise, his baseball. So we need to teach our kids to live by priority and live by schedule. And I think too many people, they're like, oh, let them be kids. You know what? The people that are saying let them be kids, their kids are hellions. You know what I'm saying? They're going to visit their son in jail this week. The ones that are always saying to me, let your kids be kids, are usually, you know, their kids are either like, you know, in jail, or, you know, they're hellions. Anyway, that's good. I know. Don't talk about that. Mike's garage needs to be organized.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm using that as a colloquial, or an example. Actually, right now it's in pretty good shape. There is a thing about teenagers, though, in organizing that doesn't just I have a hard time with it. So, yeah, my son tends to destroy my garage. Hey, my daughter had a job interview yesterday, though, so.
Where at?
She said it went well at Dunn Brothers, which is a local coffee shop that's about 5 blocks from my house. So that's what I need, is my daughter working at a coffee shop 5 blocks from my house.
What's the name of the coffee shop? Dunbar?
Dunn Brothers.
Dunn Brothers. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually a chain. There's a few.
You ever look at businesses and see their name of the business and think, who approved this? You know? Or like the name of a kid. I'm like, surely between the mother or the father, somebody had a light bulb had to go off and say, no. Think of 3rd grade when the teacher gets up before the class and calls your kid's name out loud in front of 30 other kids. That's what you got to be thinking. You know what I'm saying? Name your kids right. That's my best advice for life.
I still say, though, that like Starbucks is the worst name ever for a coffee shop.
Well, I couldn't agree with you.
They still did okay.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, you're right, Al. Most people think ahead. I think way ahead. I really do. I'm a guy that thinks way into the future, and I think of scenarios. It's just how my brain is wired, you know. Julie, what's the strangest name you came across as a teacher? That's okay. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with different names. I am, as long as they're not going to make 3rd graders laugh when the teacher says the name. You know what I mean?
While Julie is thinking about the strangest name. Uh, Actually, I was gonna, since we're talking about personal finance today, um, I was gonna talk a little bit about life insurance.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about life insurance.
As one of the things that really insurance in general. I think that there's wow, rainbow trout. That is a little interesting.
Rainbow trout. I couldn't even imagine.
Hmm. So Joe's a licensed insurance broker. That's interesting. Well,
Interesting.
Joe could
Let's talk
probably.
about insurance.
Uh, so one of the things that I was actually doing a little bit of research and just kind of going across different avenues. Of course, I know I've been through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. Highly recommend it. He has some of the most practical, down to earth, pragmatic advice that you could ever come across. I learned a lot from it. There's a lot of differing opinions. I was doing some research on, like top 10 financial keys and those sort of things for for personal finances. And it's interesting because two different people will have two different lists and half of them will be exactly contradictory to one another. And so there's a lot of opinions out there. Some people say, make sure that you invest, and other people say investments aren't good. And so there's a lot of different things about that. But almost everyone says that life insurance is extremely important. And this is something that I learned a long time ago and have invested in a term life insurance policy. And none of I really feel like term is the right way to go, and that's what Dave Ramsey recommends as well, which is just saying basically you're covering to be able to provide for your family in the case that that you die basically. So uh, there's a bunch of different ones. A lot of people get confused about it, about whole life and universal life and all these different things. But really, what you want to look at is what your earning potential is, and try to take care of that so that your family's taken care of. And years ago, I'm like probably 12 years in or 8 years in on a 20-year term policy right now. That's and it seems like a lot, but it's like $1.5 million, $2 million. I don't remember exactly, and I've got a couple of other policies as well. But really, when you look at it, you say, "What's my earning potential per year?" and sort of multiply that out over a couple of years. So I look at it like, okay, I'm basically a financial asset to my family. If I go away, there's a big loss in the financial. There's a financial impact in the family, so I have to supplement that with insurance. So that's how I arrived at the number would be 15 years worth of income or something like that. Yeah, exactly, Joe.
It would take Carol at least 15 years to grieve your death, at least.
Uh,
I'm going to need a life insurance policy on you, my friend. I think I might buy some life insurance on you because I'm going to need a couple of years off if you pass. Um, yeah, let me tell you, this is a good topic because any dads out there or even, single moms, the highest priority of your life is life insurance. Literally, I could be a life insurance salesman, but I'm not. So let me just say this. I would not even think I would not even think about living one day as a dad, not one day as a dad without having life insurance. There's no way. Like there's just no way possible that for 1 second I would literally do whatever I had to do. I've talked to some of my close friends and family about this, just caring about them. Like, hey, just want to ask you, you got life insurance? Like, I know men that are married that have kids that don't have life insurance. To me, I believe that's a sin. Like, I literally believe they're sinning. Like, I believe that they're literally, I know I'm coming across extreme, but you got to sometimes to wake people up. But I believe that they're literally with their actions saying, I don't care about the future of my family. Because death is that sudden, and you can go like that, and you can't even imagine the weight of what it would fall on your wife and kids if all of a sudden you, as the sole provider of your home, died and left them without insurance. I've seen families turned upside down. I've seen ladies lose houses. I've seen ladies have to get 2 jobs. I've seen kids, at one time be able to live a good, safe, good life, and now live in almost poverty because their husbands. And when you think about it, Mike, life insurance really, we talk about value over price all the time. Like, for me to have a peace of mind every time I get on a plane or every time I just get in a car, going to a bank nowadays is a risk, but my friend, the peace of mind of knowing that my son is taken care of for life if I die is worth whatever price I have to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I literally have had people tell me they can't afford life insurance. That's not true. Like, let every bill go if you have to. I'm serious. I'm that extreme about it. Like, let every bill go. If that's really what if it really comes down to you can't afford it, I want to look at your last 3 months bank statements. If you're telling me you can't afford life insurance for your family, then I want to look at your last 3 months bank statements, and then I'll tell you if I agree with you or not. Then I'll tell you, well, something, my friend, you might have to sell, your boat, your 4-wheeler, your car. You know what I'm saying? Not go on vacation for 5 years. I don't care. Just do whatever you got to do to make sure your family's taken care of.
Look, I
Did
personally,
I make my?
yeah, it's not really that expensive anyways. I pay less than $600 a year for like $1.5 million in coverage. So, uh, over the course of that 20-year term, I mean, you're looking at what, $10,000, a little less, 11,000. So, it's not really that expensive. One other thing, and I just want to share a life lesson about insurance that my wife and I dealt with. We had a fire about 5 years ago now, and we were actually renting a townhouse at the time. And so, and one of the things that I learned, I never really in my life thought about renters insurance very much. And luckily, one of the ladies in our church works for an insurance person. She said, you've got a bunch of computer equipment, you've got firearms, you've got all those things that are worth a lot of money. You should, increase your renter's policy considerably. Most people have like just the minimum, whatever the lease states. So we increased our renter's policy. We had a fire in our house, which nobody expects that either, right? And you never expect to have a fire or a flood or storm damage or whatever. And we ended up maxing out a very large renter's insurance policy, $50,000, and just with damage from the fire, and it still didn't cover everything. And and when I looked at the value versus the price, renter's insurance is dirt cheap. It's like $16, $18 a month for that much coverage. And it's something that I never thought of. Just a little tip that if you're renting today, or even maybe your homeowner's insurance, make sure that you have plenty of coverage there. Just can save you a lot. The other thing is, if you do have a fire, talk to me before you let like Service Master or somebody take your stuff, because it was what a mistake that was.
Mike, that's like, what, that's a real life situation there, and you're right. You lived through it, and you learned some lessons on that, and maybe in our next show even share some of them in case someone does, or in case they have a friend or family that goes through it. Some of the lessons you learned, because you're right. Even though you got money back, you still almost lost, right?
What's that? I was reading. I'm sorry.
You still almost lost. Am I right?
Oh, we ended up yeah, it was a mess. We lost money on the deal, but
Julia and Jeannie both went through some real life tragedies and are giving some really good advice here. I've been putting them up on the screen for people to read, for those that aren't able to read. Jeannie's so sorry about your loss. I can't even fathom the pain. But she had a 12-year-old die of cancer, and so she talked about the importance of having life insurance for your kids too, and I agree with that. I mean, I would need at least 5 years off. I would be no good to the world for 5 years if my son died. So Julia, her husband died in a car accident, just went to work and died tragically, literally that morning. Semi hit him head on. And, you know, she was sharing some stuff, and I like what she said about personal protection insurance. It's very good. So I appreciate people sharing their real life experiences on this show. That helps us all. I never thought about the personal protection insurance, and I'm actually going to call today now. You know, so it's good stuff. And I love what you said, Mike, about the renter's insurance as well. It's amazing how many people are missing out on a little bit of security and safety and protection just by not paying attention to the details or not making it a priority. So I'm glad we talked about this on the show today, Mike. It's very good. I appreciate you bringing it up, my friend. Any other closing thoughts, Mike? I know we're near out of time.
No, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I'll return your call today.
Yeah, exactly. This is good what Julia said in closing. She said she was able to deal with the death of her husband because she didn't have any financial worries. She could focus on grief and not the financial issues. So good right there. So good. Good stuff, man. Yeah, Mike, you know, call a brother back every once in a while. Can I get some insurance on that, you know? I know Joe's shouting the same thing at me. Horrible the last few days. Carol's saying the same thing. It took me a little bit to get my energy back, you know? Anyway, we love you, man. Thank you guys so much. We'll be seeing y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll be talking about something all of us need, and that's our spirituality. We'll look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at Fuel for Success.